Welcome to the podcast. It's Mr. Ish. We're here at Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, Saturday morning, so afternoon. We're doing a little podcast class. Just joined a couple of my friends from Castle Hill, and I got a special guest also. I'll do a little podcast, something interesting, just to put it up so we can see how everything is working. Let's introduce ourselves from my left to my right. This is my left, in case you don't know.
My name is Brittany. I work at the Kips Bay in Castle Hill.
Welcome, Brittany. Welcome back.
My name is Marcus, and I'm with Castle Hill Kids Bay.
Marcus got a deep voice. Marcus sounds like Barry White right now. And my special guest today.
My name is Isabella, and we are doing a podcast about
Oh, you jumped right into it.
what brought us here and what brought us into being a podcaster.
Okay, well, I guess she told us the topic. Who wants to go with their story first? You want to go with your story first, Isabella? We'll let you go first. You're our special guest. Go ahead. Tell us why you want to be a podcaster.
I want to be a podcaster because my dad is a podcaster, and when he retires, I'm going to be the new podcaster.
Okay, so you're going to take over.
Yes.
I'm not going to retire anytime soon. How long you going to wait to get this job? So you're 7 now. So how long you
Not
going to wait?
that long, right now.
You're gonna take over now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, have a meeting with my boss.
Today.
Have a meeting with my boss. I'm pretty sure that she's gonna pay you less than me.
Your boss is not here today.
I know, but you have to set it up so you can have a meeting with her.
She's probably going to pay me more because I'm younger and I'm doing more work, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to that. I said good luck. But what brought me into podcasting was I like to talk a lot. So that's a great job for someone that likes
I'm a
to talk a lot.
talkative person, too.
You
And
get
I
it
ask
from
a
me.
lot of questions
Yeah, you get it from me.
because he's my father.
I like to talk a lot, and I feel like I could talk about almost any topic. So that's one of the things that was interesting. And also, I wanted to try to get the kids to feel, to have a voice to talk about things and to hear themselves on the internet, on Apple and and YouTube, so they could become a little YouTube famous. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a podcast.
And we're all staff members.
Yes, we are. Except you don't get a check. Brittany, what brought you into trying to be a podcaster?
So I was always interested into like learning new things, and I felt like this is something that would be beneficial for like a work perspective aside from personal. So I wanted to basically learn how to be more talkative with things like that and just get into the
The technical part of it?
basically.
I agree.
But I also eventually would like to be able to like maybe do my own so I can actually speak on things.
And doing your stuff and talking your business.
I mean, maybe, yeah, but like I definitely would like to use this as an outlet to like speak out on things that really need to be spoken out about within the world or just like, the community. So I kind of just want to use it for not just entertainment, but like beneficial purposes.
Of course. Getting information out is one of the important things. This is a easy way to communicate with thousands of people, platforms that everyone is getting used to now. 10 years ago, it wasn't a big deal, but now it's like everybody has a podcast. If there's a TV show, at the end, you see like, follow us on the podcast. And like, we just saw the show for an hour. And then we're like, yeah, we got a podcast right after that. So almost every show has one. It's a way of communicating now. It's almost like going on Facebook, IG, and all that stuff. A lot of people just want to know. They want to have as much information as possible. So this is kind of an easy outlet to do that. Why do you want to become a podcaster?
So, for me, I grew up an introvert, so I didn't really talk to people much. But I noticed that, like, recently, like, I've been breaking out of my shell because, like, when I'm having a conversation with somebody, sometimes I do have, like, a lot to say depending on the topic instead of, like, just being quiet all the time or, like, one-word answers. So, like, podcasting definitely does help me with that and, like, having more open conversations with people.
Yeah, it also gets you used to speaking, amongst others, with others as a like right now we have one topic that we all trying to discuss. You can really do this by yourself, and it just becomes your thought type of thing. Having other people, join in. Having other people join in is also good because you get other people's ideas and things like that. So Doing it in a group. I always call it like a lunchroom table. Like we're sitting here without the lunch, but we're sitting here and we're just having a cool discussion. I just thought about it too. When I was in high school, I was on a debate team. So this could be one of those things also that you could kind of go back and forth on ideas and pick a side, whether it's something you agree with or not. At least you could understand each other a little more by picking one side to the other, or having a discussion like that. Yes, Isabella.
So it's also a way where you can express yourself by talking.
Yeah, you definitely express yourself, and people get to listen to you.
And
You know,
you get to talk about different topics, and people get to know a little bit more about yourself.
yes, that's a great thing. As staff members, we want our members to know us a little bit, to feel comfortable around us. You don't always want them to think that we screaming at them because they're running around and stuff like that. So this is kind of a way to lay back a little bit, just get into their minds, get into a different rhythm. And the way it is now, you see, I got the Zen going on. My ambiance
Yeah,
is
I'm
wonderful
jealous.
right now. This is my new blue velvet room. I got everything blue, for Brent's Club. You saw my Brent's Club sign?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
come
actually
on.
pretty jealous.
There's a problem.
I set it up because I was ready for when you come with your kids, when you come with your members. They're gonna be like, that's Brent's Club. They're gonna be like, yo, they dope over there.
There's a problem about your whole blue velvet room.
What's the
Your
problem?
your red sign is red, and then your curtains are black, and then your walls are gray. Nothing
Nothing matches.
else is blue, but LED lights, your chair, that little blick back there.
All right. Well, black is a neutral color. Okay.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, black is neutral, and then the gray, it blends in with the ambiance of the light gray
No.
there. That's what I'm saying.
I see the vision. I
come
see
on.
what you did.
You can't hate on the room. The room is nice.
But you said it's blue velvet, the green, blue,
Because I got a blue rug, I got blue chairs.
white floor,
All right. My daughter doesn't like the ambiance.
yellow outlet.
All right, I can't do well. So this gives us a real good outlet on especially like you said, an introvert, a person that you see in the corner, they don't like talking a lot. I think I was that when I was younger. I got out of it real quick when I was like 13 or 14. I don't know if that's real quick, but after that, you can't shut me up. I don't even know why my wife don't even listen to me. Yeah, she don't listen to me. And she'd rather me text her. My texts are short, and my conversations are long.
For sure, cause also I wanted to say it also brings out like other people's thoughts. Like if say you have the same type of idea that they do, y'all could both speak on it because y'all both like enjoy the topic and passionate about it.
And we could get a familiar ground. Like if I don't know much about you, but we like, oh, I didn't know you like that. I didn't know you. I didn't know that.
exactly.
I didn't know that. That's what happened over there in Castle Hill. I don't know things like that. Don't hit the microphone,
I
babe.
said that because it's a way that people know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, you said that. But
Why are you repeating it?
because we have to repeat it. So it's a way also to listen. And sometimes people like to talk, but they don't like to listen. And listening is one of the exercises that I do with them here a lot. I tell them to like ask a question, and then from the answer, ask another question from that answer. I think we did it maybe the first time that we started. It's real important. It's real important because at least it gets us to listen more to each other and stop worrying about asking, the 5 questions that you have to go through.
Yeah.
I think it's a good exercise, and also getting people to do like open-ended questions because you don't want to be like, do you like being here? Yes. Do you want to? Yes. No. You don't want those questions because you could already see that the mannerism is different, the tone is different. You want to get them to talk about themselves. People like talking about themselves.
Yeah, that's why like in regular conversation I try to like word it in a way like you can't just say yes or no, like you have to be like yes and or no and.
Yeah, that you have to really, you could take any question and make it simple and getting a yes no answer, or you could really, make them think about it and get them to talk a little bit. Because when they talking a little bit, then you could feel, or you could kind of get some other answers out of them. I know I'm very easy with that. How do you think that this could improve or could help you at your clubhouse, like doing the podcast? Yeah, Brittany, you know, how do you think it could help your members at your particular clubhouse? Because we all work for Kips Bay, but and every clubhouse is different. You know, they call us the West Side. The West Side is different than Randall. Randall, I guess, and Castle Hill are pretty close, so that's kind of the same kids. The Rosneck is a little bit to the other side. You know, I think it's more houses, but they are by the projects. So it kind of depends on the members that we're having, but each of us are slightly different. So I know that in your clubhouse, maybe you have more teenagers than we have. So how do you see this work helping your particular clubhouse?
For us, I say it would probably help us a lot, like especially getting like the kids' thoughts on specific topics because like I feel like we don't, as a program in general, like we don't give like the kids enough like space or
Like say so.
like yeah, exactly,
Like
say so,
yeah.
or like being able to speak how they feel or speak on the topic that they're passionate about because they don't really have the opportunity to do so.
I know it'll definitely help for your program, but for one of your groups that you do, how do you feel that it'll work? That it'll help you in Castle Hill?
So, I feel like a lot of the kids that I work with are interested in things like this, but I see it as like a way for kids to express themselves and be more vocal with not just, things at school, but just like themselves in life. And I want to be able to give the kids like at least another outlet to see if this is something that they want to do as they get older. Like we can't just keep giving the basics of like, school and then these little extracurricular programs like basketball and stuff like that. Of course, like that's there is
Yeah,
beneficial.
the sports is
but-
always going to be there.
Yeah, but I would rather have the kids engage in something way more. Like, and I feel like this would be a start.
Yeah, I
And then
think
this is something that kids also talk about actually on a daily. So it's like if we can get the stuff needed to do it at our program, like why not?
I also think that for the two programs that we are familiar with is Brent's Club.
Yes.
It's going to be really a big outlet for them to understand and to hear from a teenager what's going on, especially in their neighborhood. For them to understand, that there is for whatever answer they do. So I think we had a little workshop the other day, and one of the questions was, will you come with me to the party? Like we were acting it out. Come with me to the party. And the kid was like, all right, I'll go with you to the party. And then the next thing was like, yo, let's have a drink. And then he was like, nah, I don't feel like drinking. I'll be like, yo, the girls are here. Come on, man. They all want to hang out with us. Let's have a drink. Boom. He decided to have a drink. And then after that, he was like, yo, let's go home. The girl said to follow her, whatever, let's go home. And then he's like, nah, I don't feel like going. And, back and forth, we acting. But then he gets in the car, and then the next thing that happened is that he got into an accident, he killed somebody or hurt somebody. So, whatever action you have, it's kind of peer pressure, but, it had another reaction to it. So at the end, that particular one, someone got hurt, and now all of a sudden you're 16 years old, manslaughter, you hurt somebody, they could be paralyzed or die, now you're going to jail. And your whole life is going to change. So you have to be aware of things like that, especially drink driving and stuff like that. So I think by them hearing it from their own age group and not from someone that's older, because they get tired of hearing it from parents and uncles and aunts and teachers. They need to hear it from someone that's their age. So that'll make a big difference for Brent's Club. Yesterday, my daughter did what is the Smart Girls? Yeah, she did Smart Girls, and she really loved that one. And then I asked her, "What you did in Smart Girls?" She said, "Well, one of the rules is not to tell you what we did in Smart Girls." I was like, "Oh, I guess that's the way it is."
Yeah, they got a secret code like that.
So that's pretty good because it gets them to open up a little bit, to have some confidence, especially when it's just all the girls together, or even when it's us in Brent's Club, that is just a dedicated club to that. So it gives them a real good outlet. So I see that happening, through all the clubhouses.
And like back to like the like when we were talking about like a lot of sports, like I feel like the podcasting program like would give like Brittany said like another outlet instead of just sports all the time. Because I feel like a lot of kids are forced into sports because like that's the only thing that we're doing.
Yeah. And in some clubhouses more than others. Obviously in like Throsneck, they have a beautiful gym, so they have a big basketball program. For us, we don't have a big gym. We have a junior gym. That's what they call it. So basketball is not the biggest thing here. We don't have a baseball field, so that's not a big thing. We don't have a pool, so that's not a big thing. So for us, really, the technology part is what we thrive in. So us having podcasts, us having photography, us having videography, filmmaking, beat making, and like 2 or 3 studios, a kitchen that a culinary place where they could teach you, and having those things, that's what we excel at. So every clubhouse has a little different, but we should share a lot of these platforms together, and that'll help, I think, everyone out. I think that's the new goal. It's always been a goal, but it's kind of hard to do it. So you have to really build relationships. Like you have to do what we're doing now. We have to, be able to go to Castle Hill and be like, oh, I know this guy. I know Brittany, and work off each other. Not be scared to give me a call and be like, yo, Ish, I'm doing Brent's Club. I'm thinking about this. I'll be like, oh, that's dope. I say, yo, come over here or let me go over there and we'll talk about it. People are scared to share ideas. Like if an ideas cost something. They don't. Like the AP asked me the other day, oh, I need some lesson plans. I give them all my lesson plans. It don't. I created the lesson plans. I said, so I know what they are. I said, so if I pass them on to you and you, oh, I could use this. I don't know how to use this, but I'll use 2, lesson plan 2, 4, 8. It's just a way, an idea on a piece of paper.
Yeah,
You
like
still
a
have
guide,
to.
yeah.
You still have to interpret it. You still have to interpret. So I'm not scared of giving you my ideas. Yeah, I worked hard on it, but it's for the benefit of the company. So it's not a big deal for me. So I think people are scared to do that. Like, nah, that's mine.
Yeah, like I
It's
don't
not
I don't
wrong.
like that. Like that's like too selfish because like especially if it's a great idea, like let's say podcasting for any like just hypothetically for now. Like that's a great idea to share, but like probably other sites wouldn't really be too interested in it. And like it has to go through supervisors and stuff instead of like asking the kids like do you want to do this?
And the funny thing is, if anybody came here, and you could see, not to show off in any way, but they give me whatever I want. Technically, as long as I'm doing the work, they're gonna give me whatever I want. So this could exist anywhere. Isabella, stop that. This could exist. It could exist anywhere. So because it exists here, and you can see how simple this is, but it's still kind of cool, laid back, or whatever. This is something that you could do a nice little vibe in your spot.
Exactly.
And it's not that complicated. It's technology. And the way of the future is technology. We already learned that through the pandemic. Like those 2 years in the pandemic, we were forced to learn how to use an iPad and how to do everything, through technology. I was saved because I was doing podcasts. So when other people weren't getting paid, guess who was getting paid? Me. Because I could call people up. I'll be like, yo, you enjoying the podcast? Boom, put you on Bluetooth. And I have 4 people and we're doing podcasts. So I was still getting my little money on the side. They were like, oh, you could do it over the phone? I was like, yeah. They were like, here's the number. Call these kids together and put them all together and do podcasts. So I could, this is something because I had the technology and because I was capable of taking it home and doing it at home, we got to do podcasts during the pandemic and how they were feeling, how their family was feeling, what's going on in their life. It was, it was a strange time for all of us.
Yeah. But we all learned like well just like you said, like even though we all had to stay inside, you learned and adapt like to everything that you had. So you had an iPad, so now you can make a podcast off an iPad.
Yeah.
And just have 4 more people with you. And like that's the same thing like with pushing the program or like bringing a new idea up. Like if you just learn and adapt, then people will get it.
I think as a group, we just have to, like, the same way, like, AP reached out to me, then I reached out to you. Like,
Exactly.
we have to get you to reach out to somebody and then, build a little team because, I think I told you off, or, when we weren't recording, but Randall's going to have a big digital arts department. They're remodeling and it's happening. It's not that the budget is there, the stuff is going to happen. So, this is going to be the job of the future. Walking with the kids and taking them to class, that's for somebody too. But the technical jobs and the other jobs that are side jobs, that's what's going to get you moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
So that's another way of looking at it, and making yourself useful. Learn. You can learn this. Whatever I learn here, I always find a way to do this, and I already have the idea of how to make money outside in the streets. I already have that idea. As soon as I got the equipment, I got good at it. I'm like, oh, I could do this. I could host for my friend. I could charge him this for 10 of them. I could charge this for 12 of them, and I could make my money. So, if you're that good or you're that dedicated to it, I could do a podcast about fantasy football, and that'll be a big deal. I could do a podcast with my daughters about makeup.
Yeah.
And that's kind of funny, just hearing a dad talk about makeup with their kids. I do all that. So if there's a way of making money, I know that I'm out there and I could do it.
That's a great skill though, cause like you noticed it, like that like you like to talk a lot.
Yep.
So like that's your skill. So and you're using it to the best of its abilities.
Yeah, there's gonna be a day that I can't talk,
Yeah.
so I could go back and listen to all of these.
Well, at least now you can, so you can use it.
Definitely. And for my kids, like you can see Isabella's floating around right now. But you can see she has some skills. She has a little bit of podcast skills. We do it at home. We have a little studio set up, a little green screen and all that stuff. So she has like 2 little chairs where they sit down and they talk with each other. I try not to put them out because they're so young. But
Yeah.
I give them to like my nieces and their uncles, and I share it with them like that. But I think it's kind of like our little thing.
She's definitely a young prodigy.
She's already trying to kick me out. But she also anything I do, she wants to do. So you see her like this Christmas, she wanted a camera, so we bought her a camera because she wants to film. So whenever you see me at an event, she's most likely filming. She always has one of my cameras and she's filming. So she likes it. So why tell her no? So I'm one of those parents that be like, all right, let's try it. And if you get good at it, then that's good. That's a plus. But if not, at least you're learning something. So I think the last time he was in Castle Hill when you did that big Christmas party. I mean the Christmas show.
Yeah.
Christmas show,
Yeah. She was filming.
She was filming there.
Yeah, she was filming. Yeah, if you see the video, she was filming. As a matter of fact, she filmed the whole part where the seniors were dancing.
Mm.
That was her video.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
was her
Yeah,
video.
I remember the seniors dancing.
So she because I was still setting up the other camera and I didn't know that the seniors were gonna come out so fast. So she already had hers on point. Boom, record. She was good. She knows how to use the tripod. She knows how to use the camera. So I give her that freedom, and I use her footage sometimes. That time I know I did because I wasn't prepared. But in other events, I just use it as a B-roll. If I see something, she might be closer when she's recording. So if I see that I could take her angle better than mine, I use her footage because I know the cameras are good. So it's just a matter of what's her angle, what's her style, how she films, and I teach her a lot about the angles and stuff like that. So I have to admit, she's a good teacher. I mean, she's a good learner.
And it's amazing that she's only 7 and she knows how to use the camera already.
She's definitely trying. I
was playing with wrestling toys at 7.
She still do that. I mean, you catch her. She got her dolls set up and all that stuff. But she used to set up the dolls, like all the Barbies and all that stuff, and do like a wedding and like have her iPad and do the whole wedding of them walking down and all that stuff. She's creative. She's creative. I give her that. They always say left-handed kids are creative. She's left-handed.
Was he left-handed?
Yeah, she's left-handed.
Sorry to interrupt
don't
and not to get
interrupt.
too personal, but hearing that is like very much like heartwarming because when I was younger, I very much wanted to do things like photography and get into that, but it got bashed away from my family because it was like, this is something that's not going to be beneficial for you, like money-wise and this and that and the third. So I just completely had to just forget about it since, I'm young and I had to basically listen to my parents and understand from them. But as I got older, I was like, I wish I would have had more.
You can still do it. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's also what I'm learning too. Like, I feel like age now does not
Nah, it
matter.
doesn't
Like, if
matter
you
anymore.
are up, you're able to wake up every day and move and just do what you have to do for living, you could be able to get into the things that you want to get into.
You know how I got into photography? I worked in a video store. These things don't exist anymore. But I worked in a video store. And then somebody asked me, could you film my kid's birthday? And I said, yes. I didn't even have a camera. I said, yes. But then I was like, now I got to get a camera. Oh, who I know that has a camera? Oh, you got a camera? Let me hold that. Yo, my camera's brand new. Yo, I'll give you $100. I was making $200 for the party. But without the camera, I wouldn't even make $100. So I said, I'll give you $100. So I borrowed the camera, did it, computer, trying to figure out how to edit, stuff like that. Did a little kid's birthday party. Got $200. Then somebody, yo, you could do a Sweet 16. Now my man's gonna lend me the camera, so now I'm gonna charge you $300. It's a little, it's a little different, and that's how I went on. And I tell you, it's one of those things that I learned a little bit in high school. Now, high school really helped me out a lot because I went to a specialty high school. So in my high school, I'm definitely putting my girls in specialty high schools. You learn a lot and you learn specific things. So since I went to art one, we did photography, we did videography, we did cartooning, we did graffiti, we did airbrushing, anything that had to do with arts, we did. I wanted to be an architect, so we did architect, we did drafting. So every semester we learned something new. So you may not have full fledged, everything, but I know how to use darkroom. I know how to do my own film and stuff like that. So I learned it through school. So and then afterwards you pick up a little more. And if you wanted to go a whole year in photography, just pick a whole year of photography, and that kind of pushes you to learn more and more. And that's how I did it. I learned as much as I can in school, and then I put it to how can I make money out of it, and I make good money out of it.
Yeah, for sure. And like back to her point, talking about like when she said she wished she would have like learned it earlier. I feel like sometimes like it just like our parents didn't even know.
That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah, they didn't know the jobs of the future. They thought the city job is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to high school. If you don't finish, city job. If you go to college, then whatever your major is, that's the job you get. There's people that get a college degree in, I don't know, engineering, and they work in Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter anymore. I remember when I worked in a video store, there was a lot of people that either finished college or were going to get their masters, and I was their boss, and I only did 2 years of college. So I'm like, I'm your boss, and you're like 45, and I'm like 23,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter that I could make sure that he got his money. I know the technology, you didn't, and I could know how to work a computer, and you didn't. So because of the age gap, you weren't familiar with how to fax a machine, fax machines or anything like that. And I did it. So my boss was more comfortable and gave me more money. So I was your boss, and you went to college. So that's crazy.
I got a question for you.
Huh?
So you've been doing this for a while. So when did like you notice that she was really getting into it?
Who, my daughter?
Yeah.
As soon as I put the headphones on her, because she felt that it was a way to talk to daddy. You understand? So I think that open communication is what set it off real quick. So she was like, "Oh, this is me and daddy talking." So it was really comfortable. I can't talk to you, baby, because I'm on the microphone. So it was very comfortable to talk. My other ones,
I can answer his question.
but if you go over there, then you have to go to the microphone. All right, well, then don't come to talk to me. You want to answer the question?
I could answer the question.
Okay.
I started my first ever podcast when I was 2 years old.
Yep, that's about right.
And that's the first time I ever started to talk, and
You know what the podcast
it's
is about?
on the board so you could listen to it now.
Oh yeah, it is. It is on the internet. What you don't remember the topic? You don't remember? You was 2 years old. You probably don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right, we got to look it up. All right, thank you for coming back. But now we're talking about serious stuff. Go play. So it's just a way to communicate, and I think that as a dad, that's one of my goals is always to be there and be as open with my kids as much as possible. I think it's easier, in life. I guess we don't all come from the same thing. I remember my dad wasn't like that. I couldn't sit down and talk to my dad. My dad was just working. So, but now with the way the kids are now, they want questions answered immediately. They if you're there every day also, it's one of those things that they get comfortable with it. So it works the same thing with our kids, with our members. If they see you every day, they're gonna trust you more.
Yeah.
When we start moving staff around and there's not a I remember Miss Brittany was here 2 years ago. She's not here no more. Oh man. I remember you was here. He's not here no more. Like to have a regular staff that you could say that they've been there for a long time. The parents love it. I've seen kids that they were in their mother's belly, and now they're they're here and they're 6 years old, and they're in, practically my daughter's class. And I was their brother's counselor, and now they're in the teen program, and some of them I bring back to work here. So having that we already crossed almost like 2 or 3 generations is kind of dope. At least for me. I mean, it's a good thing, and I feel good about working with the young ones. I think that's one of my highlights. I mean, for you guys, you don't have kids yet, right? No.
Nah.
These are your kids.
Nope.
These are your kids. Brittany's like, nope.
My second graders are my kids, and those are the only kids I'm jacking.
My 5th graders make me not want to have kids.
Like,
Sometimes sometimes that's what needs to be done. I think you guys are young, so it's not a priority. I'm a little old. I'm very tired. Even when my wife thinks about having another kid, I'm like, ooh, you're not talking to me.
Priority.
Yeah. I thought I was out of Pampers a long time ago. All right, guys. I think this was a great podcast. So I don't know how we're gonna edit this one. It's about I'm gonna put your mic back on so you can say goodbye. All
I
right.
want to highlight some
What do you want to highlight?
some teachers in kids' bed.
Okay, please.
Miss Alexa, Miss Alyssa, Mr. Sebastian, Mr. Jerome, and Miss Brittany.
All right, you're giving a lot of shout outs. All right, I'm going to give a shout out to myself. Thank you again and for coming by on Saturday, our little workshop. We're going to edit this together and we're going to see how it goes. All right, so let's say our goodbyes.
Goodbye.
All right, you say goodbye. Next.
Peace.
I ready to cut you out. We're out of here. Bye, Brittany. You didn't even say bye to
I
nobody.
was waiting for you.
Peace to the dogs.
Peace and love.
Check, 1 2 1 2. Check.
All right, we're out of here.